Q&A. If you have any questions you want to ask us, have an interesting topic that you want to pitch, or want to be part of the show, send us an email at bastardsgamingnetwork@gmail.com or message us on the Bastards of Gaming Facebook group. Born Slippy Toad asks, do you ever regret the amount of time you spent gaming in your life? I have a bit to say on this, but I'll throw it to you first to see what your feelings are.
You know, I spend a lot of my time doing productive things, so like I want to unwind and just chill out, have fun, do something amusing. So I don't regret any of the time I've spent gaming. There's been games that I regret playing, so there's that time, certain times there, but ultimately I don't find it a waste of time. Everybody consumes some sort of like art and entertainment, right? So this is what I do. I consume music and movies and video games. So
no, I'm with you there, but I was without getting too personal, I was not in a good place some months ago after a lot of things happened to me last year, and that was like a thought that I did have for a little while. I think it's part of one of those things of getting older and not really feeling like my life has really amounted to anything in any important way. As someone who grew up like a very artistic person, I've never really done much with that. And, I used to play music. I used to do a lot of art. So I did have those thoughts a couple of times. Like I did have a thought, like, more than once over the course of like a couple months that like, maybe I should just like literally sell all my video game stuff I have and spend the time that I spend doing this, like doing something else. Because if you add up all the time that I've spent in my entire life playing video games, and if I would apply that to literally anything else, like a skill or a talent or something that maybe I could, have made money off of or whatever, like maybe I would have a more fulfilling or better life than I do right now. So I did have that thought a few times. It's just like a weird thing. I've never really thought that way until the last year. Like I said, I don't know if it's just me getting older, because we had that thing in the news about we were kind of joking around about a gaming addiction. I don't think I'm like that, but I can say for sure that there are times in my life that I've spent more time gaming than I probably should have. I don't know. It was just like a way to escape. Like sometimes it was a way to escape shitty things that were going on in my life, just to kind of melt into a video game. Or, when I was going through a lot of shit months ago, me being able to get online and play games with you guys and just like forget about shit and just kind of laugh and cut up was very like, therapeutic in a way. So, it's not like it was all bad. But yeah, I just think about that sometimes. Like I said, I used to play a lot of music. Sometimes I wish I'd have just concentrated on that. Like, so I've had the weird fantasy of like, sometimes I kind of wish I was born before video games were a thing. Because if like they just weren't there, I would never be tempted by them. You know what I mean? I'm sure, I would always find something else to do with my time. But just things like I used to read books all the time, and now I don't. Like if I have downtime now, I watch, some movies or some TV shows also. But yeah, it's mostly like gaming. Whenever I have a free moment, sometimes it would just, I think my time would be better spent doing something else, as fun as it is. So,
but
I don't know.
you could still devote other time to other things. You could say, okay, once or twice a week, I'm going to start reading a book. You could slot it in.
Yeah, I did try that for a while, and I have such a hard time reading anymore, man. Like I bought some books again, like some months ago, and I think I got through like the first chapter of one of them, and my mind would just like, I think I broke my brain where I spend. Like I'm even like a multitasker now. Like I'm so used to just having my phone in my hand and like doing other things. Like I'm playing a video game while watching YouTube content, or like listening to music while doing this. And like the thought of just like sitting there in kind of silence and like reading a book, it was so hard to just like calm my brain down to do it. I think I'm just so used to like listening to music or podcasts or watching YouTube content or like watching a TV show or whatever. I feel like there's like all kinds of stuff going on. But even beside that, yeah, it's just like I don't know. I have trouble doing stuff like were the thousands of hours I spent playing Halo over the last, I don't know, fucking 18 years or whatever, was some of that were really worth it. Like, I don't know. It was good times and I had fun with my friends, but like, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. Like, I guess I just have this thing with myself where as an artistic person, I kind of always wanted to, sort of leave something behind, where like I wanted to create something, whether it was an album or something. I've just never really done that. And that was a small part of the reason why I started doing this gaming podcast with you is like I just want to do something like creative and fun and different than everything else I was kind of doing in my life, even though it revolves around gaming. So it's kind of the same thing in a way, but yeah, I don't
It's
know.
okay.
It's just been a weird thing in the last couple of years or so where I've really thought about that, like where I almost like not really ashamed to be a gamer. Obviously, I mean I love it, but I just think there's been certain points in my life where I could have done more if I'd have just stopped like falling into games to sort of deal with my problems or like just forget, you know what I mean? And just done other things. I don't know.
You could still start today and do other stuff. You could pick up a guitar again and just
Yep.
play.
Well, I did have a game plan to do that last year until like a bunch of stuff happened, and I just got other ducks to get in a row before that can happen again. But it's on the docket. Hopefully, it's something I'm gonna work on. I just got a couple other things to get together here soon, which I feel like some other things are coming together for me. I just got to work a lot in the future here, and that's going to be kind of what this year is going to be for me. Is more work than anything, but yeah, I don't know. It has been a thing that I've like I said I've thought about. You know, have I spent too much gaming time? And I don't know. I mean, I could probably say a definitive yes. I mean, like I said, I don't regret all of it. I don't know. I kind of feel that way sometimes. It's weird. I don't know.
Okay, well, you can look at it in a whole bunch of other ways. You could say that you spend a lot of time hanging out with people you like. You know, that's no different than like hanging out with someone at your house or having someone
Yeah,
over for dinner. You know, that's a huge thing.
yeah, that's the best. I mean, that's the greatest justification for it, as far as like I would say in the last 5 to 10 years, because I've spent more time like, yeah, I mean that's because I'm friends with you and some other people that I can't really hang out with in real life. That's the only way to do that. It's the only way to spend time with you guys is playing a
Mhm.
game. That's definitely a positive, and that's definitely not something I really regret. But just the times, especially when I think it's more when I was younger too. Like now, it's not like I play games all the time. Like I haven't really played that much in the last week. Sometimes I'll go hard on a game, like if I'm super into it. Like when Red Dead came out, I put way too much time into that in that month that I was playing through it. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, I have it under control. I'm doing other things, but just if you look at my whole timeline of going back to like high school and shit, like especially my younger years when I was just being a fuck up in my early 20s. Like I could have been doing something else with my time, I think, for the most part. So I don't know.
Well, you could have picked something worse, possibly.
Well, I did worse things too. Sometimes I could say like gaming was maybe a savior for me in a way too. Like I did that instead of doing other things that I could have done. So it hasn't all been bad. But I just look at it like I said, if I put all the time that I spent playing games into like literally mastering an instrument, I could probably have a completely different life now.
Sure.
But
But
it's just a weird way to look at it.
I'm a big believer of if you wanted to actually do something, you would do it. So,
Yeah.
like if you've been gaming this whole time, that's what you've enjoyed doing. You know, if you actually wanted to master an instrument, you would have done it. Like I'm not saying that you don't have it in you, but it's not everyone is willing to do certain things. So I don't think you should feel guilty because you feel like you might be missing out or you could have been more or done something different or whatever it is you feel. I think you shouldn't beat yourself up over that because you would have done it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I just haven't been. I haven't always made the best choices, but I don't want to get too far into my whole depressing life circumstances and everything
Okay.
that's happened to me over the years and all the bad decisions and regrets I have. But
Okay,
yeah, I just thought it was interesting because I remember it's just so weird that this showed up as a question because like I said, it was just something I haven't really thought about too much lately, but it was one of those like, what if I just sold all my shit that's like non-essential and just like moved to a different town and like just started my life over? You know what I mean? And just like it was one of those moments where you're just like, what if I just literally changed everything right now? Where would that take me? You know what I mean?
You'd move to a new town, be bored because you know nobody, and start playing video games again. I think that's the cycle.
Probably. But yeah, it's one of those things like, I think everyone's been there in their life where they're just like, what's the easiest way to just fucking start over? Because I've lived in the same place for like most of my life. Like all my memories are here. Everything's here. And it's just like, what if I just left? You know what I mean? Just started over. Probably wouldn't make my life any better. But it's one of those things that you just like have this irrational thought sometimes in your brain when you're just like feeling like you're stuck and in a rut in life.
Mm.
And you're like, what can I do? Like, what if I just literally changed everything about my life? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Okay, let me take this in a different direction then to like get you out of your funk here. But think of the things that you've taken out of video games, like that you got out of it. So some things that I thought of were like I've learned things about history, or I've experienced things that made me want to learn more about something that actually happened in real life. So I did research on it. You know what I mean? You experience things that you wouldn't otherwise be exposed to. You get other points of view, that sort of thing. You see things through another person's eyes. You know, that's a huge thing for gaming. And like you learn about like teamwork and strategy and hopefully some like social skills when you talk to people online, problem solving skills. You're always like trying to figure out how to do something better, how to squeeze more value out of something. If you're playing that type of game, like you're playing like a simulation game, like how to like balance an economy. I just read an article that was talking about EVE Online, and it says if you've played that game for X amount of hours, you basically have an MBA. So because it's just like a huge spreadsheet, or what is it? Yeah, was it spreadsheet?
Yeah,
Excel. Yeah,
like
Excel.
that.
Yeah. So it's just like a huge like Excel spreadsheet type of game, and it's just like think about that sort of stuff. And a funny one I also thought of was like my vocabulary. Like, sure, you can read books, and I have read many books, but it's not like my biggest thing. But when you're reading all this dialogue and stuff like that in games, you're exposed to different words and things like that. So it's like there's like these little things that I got out of games that I wouldn't have gotten like just out of my regular life. Is there anything like that
Yeah.
for you?
I mean, I would still say the best thing that ever came out of gaming was, all like you and all the people I met on Twisted Metal back in the day that have become like my best friends over the years. I mean, that's literally the best thing that's ever come out of it. Just everything that's gone along with that. And, I mean, there's probably certain little examples. Like, sure, I've learned a lot of stuff, and I mean, I don't mean to make it sound like I just feel completely bad about all the time I've spent. I just think like I could have. There's definitely times where I was in my life where I was playing games too much instead of doing like, especially when it's like I could have been doing something productive and I wasn't. And I was just like, it's easier to just sit here and play this game. And then I think back to the times when I was like a fucking achievement whore and I was just playing shit games for achievements. And it's like, what was I even doing? Like, why was I even doing any of that shit? But yeah, I don't know. It's not, I mean, like I said, I don't feel like horrible about it, but it's just one of those things like, I've just never had like anything else in my life that's really like I've been proud of or felt great about. Like this sort of like counterbalance it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I've always just kind of gone through life and just kind of doing whatever. I don't know. I've never had like a super well thought out game plan for anything.
You don't think a lot of people are like that? I would say majority of people are like that.
Yeah, to some degree, but it's a weird thing. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of weird because it's kind of when I saw this question, this kind of hit me in the feels a little bit. I was like, that's something I probably would have never like. I probably would have had your answer probably a few years ago. But yeah, it was just like a thing where you just get into a rut in your life and you're like, what am I even doing? Like, why am I sitting here playing this game? Like, shouldn't I be like learning something that I could get paid for? Like developing a side hustle where I can make some money or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Sure, but then you just be burnt out. Like, what else do you do for your downtime other than watch TV and play games?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. So if you got rid of that, what would you be doing?
Something equally stupid, probably.
Yeah, so what difference does it make? You know what I mean? You already go to work. You already make money. Like, you want to burn the shit out of yourself just by, like, working all hours of the day to make money? What a life.
Well, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate your positive outlook on it, but like I said, I'm not like I don't fucking really like regret it all. But I'm just saying, if I'm to be like completely 100% honest with myself, like if I'd have taken even like a third of the time I've spent gaming and apply that to literally anything else, I could probably maybe have something more to show for my life. I guess that's just my feelings, though.
Okay, no, it's okay.